Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome each of you here today and to each of you joining us virtually. Haven't said this in a while, but I'm going to say what we used to say. I hope you find a sense of both comfort and challenge for your life. I want to thank the choir for that lovely intro and the anthem later, and Carol, Ty for sound and streaming. And I'll just briefly say, if you're listening to us on streaming, let us know about the music sound. We're working on that today. If it's terrible, say it's terrible. We hope it's not. And also Sarah Swinford and Carl Resnick for the stewardship moment, and Pamela Schoenwalt for helping lead worship. I think I'm doing the rest of it, so thank me. You're welcome. The flowers on the altar were given by Barbara Ellsworth in celebration of David's and her 29th anniversary. And let's see. I'm going to read the quote at the top of your bulletin because it has a lot to do with today. Stewardship doesn't start with giving. It begins with recognizing the gifts that we've been given by our Creator and experiencing deep gratitude, transforming our fear into trust. Now, I'll invite you to rise and embody your spirit, and Pamela is going to lead you in the call to worship. Go ahead and get it, and I'll lead the call to worship. It's over there. Go ahead and get it. No, I'm going to lead you in the call to worship. but you can go ahead and get the microphone for later. We gather for worship today to celebrate our gifts. We are celebrating the gifts we give to this church, the pledges we are making for the upcoming year. We gather for worship today to celebrate our community. We are celebrating the love and support that we give to one another, the constant quest that we are on to be united by God's grace. We gather for worship today to celebrate our future. We are celebrating a future full of outreach, a future full of service, a future full of worship, and a future full of growth. We are celebrating a future with hope. We gather for worship today to celebrate our visions. We are celebrating the visions of those who have come before us, the visions that brought us to where we are today, and the visions that we see today for the future. Let us gather in celebration. Let us worship God. Please remain standing for the opening hymn, number 89, Awake, Awake to Love and Work. You may be seated. Before we say our opening prayer together, let's take a minute to take a couple of breaths in and out, breathing in peace, breathing in love, and breathing out busyness and anxiety. Let us pray together. Gracious God, we empty our hearts out before you. Receive us and bless us with this word. Fill us with your grace that we may perfectly reflect your glory. As the scriptures are read and your good news is proclaimed, help us to hear and to be changed. Amen. So it's time for our joys and concerns. I've got Dot Aver celebrated her 95th birthday on Monday the 6th, and several COSers went to her party, and she got lots of cards from you guys. And Tim Fogarty's 70th birthday is today. Tim is here today. It's his 70th birthday. I'll go ahead and do the other birthdays since I've started with that one. So John Blanche was yesterday. Amy Pappas, Tim, of course. Oh, Kiera Weinstein McLeod's birthday is also today. Is she here? Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, yes, it's the 14th. Oh, yes. Okay. Hip Cunningham, Betty Hinault, Nikki Brown, Carol LaRue, Leith, Elspeth Mallard Gregg, Martha Olson, and Sarah Swinford all have birthdays this coming week. That's kind of a long list, I thought. There's a lot of people born in that 1 week of October here, which led me into a whole other. A joy that I have to share is the listening sessions for Justice Knox. It's something that we need to do, but it also is it's community building, and it is comforting to hear other people's worries and share your own, and to be comforted together in each other's presence. I know there's one today, and I think there's another one next week. So if you haven't committed to going to one, see one of the team leaders, because it's a really powerful meeting, I think. Does anybody else have a joy to share? Pamela. Pamela's 34th anniversary. And Mauricio's, not just yours. Did I see anybody else have a joy? Okay. All right, then we'll move to concerns. Please pray for the families of those who were killed and those who are still missing this past week in the military explosives plant tragedy that happened in Humphreys County, Tennessee. I know they're still looking for a couple of people, but there were 16 known dead the last time I checked, which was this morning. Please pray for continued healing from a broken collarbone for Dot, for Josh Bivens as he and his family await the next steps of his treatment, for Patrick Houston's friend Keegan, who is in heart failure at Vanderbilt Children's ICU, and for Patrick, who has known Keegan since first grade. And again, Elena's stepbrother Miguel still has not contacted anyone in the family, and yesterday was his birthday, so that's really worrisome for them. Pray for him and his safety, and all God's children suffering from addiction and mental health issues, and for their families. We have been praying for Keith Richardson's nephew, David. He is being moved to a rehab in Chicago to await a heart transplant. He and his wife have 2 small children, so Keith is traveling to Chicago to help out. So please pray for this young family and for Keith. Susan Scarlett broke her shoulder recently, so pray for continued healing. Nancy and Tom Best, our office administrator, they're traveling home this weekend from Tom's daughter Julie's funeral service. And David Ellsworth's mother, Cleo, is doing better in rehab, but they ask us to pray that she can regain strength so that she can return home. And last week we found out that Ed Sullivan's mother took a turn for the worse and is being cared for by hospice in Ed's home. And I checked with Ed, and he said she's about the same. It's causing a lot of financial burden on him because she was supposed to be able to go to a nursing home, and she can't now, so he's praying for in-home care. The prayers for the possible ceasefire in Gaza, I don't know the update on that, just that they're supposed to be doing one. Our pastoral search interview team, their part of the process is about to happen, I hope. They've been preparing for it, and they're ready. And Angelina Carpenter, we've mentioned a couple of times, has the diagnosis of leukemia, and there's in your e-news, there's links to be able to reach out to her with support and find out how she's doing. Does anybody else have a concern? Yes, Susan.
He has requested that it would be helpful for him to receive meals again.
Okay.
So if we could look for that in the upcoming newsletter.
Okay.
It should be on your next.
Watch for a request for meals for Ed. That would be helpful since his mother's at home with him right now. So it'll be in the e-news upcoming. Yes, Helen. Dot is feeling lightheaded and wobbly, so she didn't come today. Okay. And Keith is here. Are you leaving later today, Keith?
Sometime within the next 4 to 7 days.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, Wayne.
Prayers again for my brother. He's on dialysis, came home about 2 weeks ago from dialysis, passed out in the lobby of the department. Broke his ankle, open fracture of it, had 2 surgeries already on it, and has another one coming up and has to have some kind of skin graft.
What's his first name?
Phil,
Phil, Wayne's brother Phil, who's having all kinds of complications from dialysis and injury from falling and has more coming up. Yes, Rebecca. Good friend Tom, who was diagnosed with cancer this week.
This is more of a joy, but the 2 people, Nelda and Margaret, that you have been praying for, have come through with flying colors. Nelda's prospects are very good. And she was in a dire situation. Margaret, it was ovarian cancer, so she's doing as well as can be done at this time. I'm feeling
Carol's friends,
surgery was successful. Their surgery was successful.
Nelda and Margaret, surgeries and treatments were successful, and they're doing exceptionally well, and the other as well as she can be expected to at this time. Oh, Clint.
Yeah, I hope this is the proper place to say something. I'm hesitant to do it because of the increasing violence, but Saturday is No King's Day. We're going to have the protest in Knoxville on the World's Fair Park. We'll move up to Western Avenue to Broadway. I hesitate in part because although we've had no trouble with the protest, more and more violence against protesters. So we all have to go at our own risk.
So prayers for those protesting peacefully this Saturday at the No Kings March, that it remain peaceful. Let us pray. Generous God, we offer our joys and acknowledge your wonderful gifts with gratitude. God of mercy and healing, you who hear the cries of those in need, receive these petitions of your people that all who are troubled may know peace, comfort, and courage. Let us all be transformed by the practice. Is it another week with no children? Wait, okay, Leah's back there. Yay! Any youth who want to come up can come up too. If you wouldn't mind sitting on the floor in front of me, facing me with your back to the audience. Okay. Okay. No, part 2. Okay. Sit down here because I'm going to show you the pictures like this. This is the book I lost a couple of weeks ago and have found. And it's important. It was important that day for another reason. Today, it's important because we think about everybody has something to give of it to you. I've been trying to tell Ma about the queen on our corner. She's right there at the end of our road in that plot of land that never got built on. She's sitting with her royal hound. I didn't notice her there before either. Like everyone else, I just walked by. So I guess that's the person speaking. Ma was scared of her at first, but the queen on our corner is just tired from all the battles she has fought and won, and the ones she's fought and lost too. Maybe she journeyed all the great rivers of the world to arrive exactly here. There she is battling and riding the river. I think the queen on our corner even fought dragons, swaying and slaying on mountaintops while the rest of the world slept. She journeyed all over to all the hidden spots in the countries far, far away. Our queen has had more adventures than anyone I know. Oh, dragon breathing fire. Or a fire-breathing dragon. But nobody around here knows this. Perhaps they can't see that she really is a queen at all, like Ma once couldn't either. People around here say the queen should leave, but our queen doesn't know where her palace is anymore. It's easy to lose a palace, that's what I say to Ma, easier than you might think. So Ma and me stop and give her gifts like you do with queens. Tea and toast for our wise woman of worlds, crumbs for the royal hound. She smiles and it's brilliant, even though she has lost some teeth in battle. Sometimes she tells us stories about other corners, ones in the deepest, darkest forests, ones that are shiny and golden and full of light, and ones in cities that hum with noise. At night, the queen on our corner and her royal hound protect our street, keeping watch for danger. I know because I've seen them. And danger does come one hot, dry night. When the wind is high, flames start from a forgotten match. The fire spreads to the shop and edges closer. Whoa, there's a fire starting. The queen and her royal hound shout and howl to wake all of us up. Soon everyone is outside standing and shouting, carrying buckets and hoses. People are grabbing their precious things and taking their cats. Then the fire trucks come. Squirting water on the fire, yeah. They douse the flames and say it could have been worse. People agree and shake their heads and turn for their houses. There's the burn-up building. But now it's my turn to shout. I tell the people, our queen saw the fire coming and warned us just in time. She saved our homes. The people on the street stop and look, and then they saw her, really saw her. They thank the queen finally. They give her water and blankets, but I know that what she really wants best is her own palace. So we build her one right there on the corner. Nobody walks by anymore. Instead, we thank the queen on our corner and listen to her stories. These days, the queen makes tea for Ma and me and even the royal hound. Me and the queen keep watch over the whole street and laugh together like parrots, while the royal hound and me eat the leftovers, though she still fights the odd battle. The end. That is called The Queen on Our Corner by Lucy Christopher and Nia Tudor. So did you notice anything in there that was what I was talking about, that people have something to give no matter how little they have? Yeah?
I think it was probably when the girl and her mom gave the person that they
Mhm.
food and
Mhm.
water.
That's one direction, yeah. And then the queen gave them stories. And the queen saved their homes by staying up at night and watching. So we can all give something, no matter how small it is. You guys want to say a prayer before you go back to your seats, or I'll say one and you can be here with me while I say it? Okay. Holy One, we thank you for everyone who has something to give, which is everyone. Do get blessings that we show you.
The first reading is from 2 Kings chapter 5, 1 to 15, the Inclusive Bible. Now Naaman, God gave a victory to Error, but Naaman had leprosy. Bummer. On one of the raids, the Arameans captured a young Israelite woman who was put to serve Naaman's wife. One day she said to her mistress, "If only Naaman would see the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure Naaman's leprosy." So Naaman went to the ruler and told him what the Israelite woman had said. "By all means, go," the ruler replied. "I will send a letter to the ruler of Israel." So Naaman left, taking 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 sets of clothing. The letter he took to the ruler of Israel said, "With this letter I am sending my attendant Naaman to you so that you may cure him of leprosy." When the ruler of Israel read the letter, he tore his robes and said, "Am I God? Can I kill and bring back to life? Why does this fellow send someone to me to be cured of leprosy? See, he's trying to pick a fight with me." When Elijah, the prophet of God, learned that the ruler of Israel tore his robes, he sent a message to the ruler. "Why did you tear your robes? Have Naaman come to me, and he will learn that there is a prophet in Israel." So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and stopped at Elijah's door. Elijah sent out a messenger to say to Naaman, "Go wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored, and you will be cleansed." But Naaman went away angry, saying, "I thought he would surely come out to me and stand there before me, calling on the name Yahweh, and wave his hand over the spot and cure me of my leprosy. Are not the rivers of Damascus better than any waters of Israel? Couldn't I wash in them and be cleansed?" So he turned and went away in a rage. Naaman's attendants went to him, saying, "Sir, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then when he says, 'Just wash and be cleansed'?" So Naaman went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the prophet of God told him, and his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a youth. Then Naaman and his retinue went back to the prophet of God. He stood before him and said, "Now I know that there is no God in all the world except in Israel. Please accept a gift from a grateful person." The responsive reading is in your book. Praise the Lord. I will give thanks to Yahweh with my whole heart, in company of the upright in the congregation. Our anthem today is protected Commencement 5, and particularly with the fall hit for the No King's March. If you're thinking about it, think of what the words say, and
Make your best judgment, and I'll see you there. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Our gospel reading today is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 7, verses 11 through 19. On the journey to Jerusalem, Jesus passed along the borders of Samaria and Galilee. As Jesus was entering a village, 10 people with leprosy met him. Keeping their distance, they raised their voices and said, "Jesus, Rabbi, have pity on us." When Jesus saw them, he responded, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." As they were going, they were healed. One of them, realizing what had happened, came back praising God in a loud voice and spoke his praises. The individual was a Samaritan. Jesus replied, "Weren't all 10 made whole? Where are the other 9? Was there no one to return and give thanks except this foreigner?" Then Jesus said to the Samaritan, "Stand up and go your way, for your faith has saved you." Here ends the gospel reading. Or I start the rest of my meditation because it is very related. This is called Three Lepers Interviewed on the 5th Anniversary, a poem by Marin Tirabassi. So it's imaginative poem. Everyone always wants to know one thing, the not going back. I'm leper number 4, and here's exactly what happened. We were a little crowd traveling together for safety because people think it's a joke to hurt lepers without touching us, so we need to keep a rock throw distance away. When we called out to the traveling preacher, you should have seen the eyes on those disciples, scared. Then Jesus said, "Go show yourselves to the priests." Just like that, with an authority I could feel, a tingle starting at the top of my head and going all the way to my toes. So I did what he said. It's what I always do, follow directions, letter of the law. Mess up something as important as this? No thanks. So I didn't go back. I'm leper number 8, and this is how it happened for me. I was a leper, can't deny it, and in that situation I had to be with, well, you know. Then there is a miracle, and I look down and see how smooth and clean and light my skin is. So I whirl around to go and thank Jesus before heading to the temple. And this foreigner is already on his way back. I just couldn't. It would have looked like we were together. Honestly, he's probably illegal. I'm leper number 5. Don't judge me. Don't judge any of us. Oh, there go the 9 who didn't say thank you. You're so high and mighty. Bet you never had anything eat you inside out. No, I thought not. Night and day, chronic pain. Some of us look disgusting, and some of us didn't. And that may be worse because people think, what's the matter with that one? There's pain, and there's outcast. You spend enough time outside society, and you lose it. You lose the skills, you just do. At least I did. When people treat you like you're not human, something human on the inside breaks. This poem came up on my Facebook timeline after I'd settled on and written most of my meditation. The last few lines truly articulated something I'm going to try to say today. So I decided I would go ahead and share it. And in addition, as I was putting it at the forefront and reading through it again, another part grabbed my attention. It was, "Don't judge me. Don't judge any of us." I read that and I thought, yep, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been judging the other 9 for not going back. Usually when I'm judging someone, it's because there's a piece of me that feels convicted. When you point your finger at folks, there are 3 pointing right back at yourself. I just wanted to get that out there before launching into the rest, and I'll come back to it in just a minute. So in the gospel reading, the one who turns back is identified by Jesus, recognized and affirmed that he not only saw that he was healed, but returned to give thanks. And he was the only one to return. He was healed a second time in a different way. Wait, were they not all healed? Yes, we assume so. But the Greek word used in the first part of the reading is from the root katharos, meaning to cleanse or to cure. In the final verse, Jesus concludes his exchange by inviting the man to rise and go on his way, and saying his faith has made him not only physically well, but also whole and indeed saved. That's part of the complex meaning of the next Greek word that was used, sozo, that Luke chose to impart Jesus' intended meaning. Sozo has the connotation of a healing, but more. Jesus' final words to the grateful foreigner describe a healing that joins body, mind, spirit, and relationship. The relationship element is important. Remember when Jesus told the 10 to go show themselves to the priests? That wasn't to prove something about Jesus' healing abilities or miracles. It was because Jesus knew that showing themselves to be healed or cleansed or clean was the first step to being able to rejoin their communities, or even to form new ones outside of the group of 10 they had formed in their excluded status. The Samaritan was doubly other because of his disease and his religious origins. Other examples of intersectionality probably existed, but they all seem to be bonded by their outcast status due to their disease over and above any differences. I think it's likely that some of them were on the fringes in some other way, like the Samaritan. Today, that might look like a group of 10 people who are black or brown, some of whom are also undocumented, or 10 people experiencing homelessness, some of whom also live with disabilities, and some of whom are black. Or a group of Southern liberals, some of whom are also queer. Whatever the reason for our outsider status, a crucial component of being made whole is being returned to community. Jesus' healings, parables, and teachings carry this implication in that he is often, or I would say even mostly, interacting with those on the edges of his own society. Tax collectors, adulterous women, don't know where the adulterous men are, off-married women, like the woman at the well, also where are the off-married men, people with debilitating conditions, and people outside his religious community that it was actually almost illegal for him to talk to. Conversely, part of being unwell is being outcast or pushed to the borders or fringes of society. These 10 people with skin disease were not just suffering from physical symptoms. They were suffering from being ostracized and cast out. We can extrapolate that they were mistreated. They stayed a stone's throw from Jesus when they were asking for healing. They were probably called unclean or dirty, had no chance of camaraderie outside what had become their chosen family of sorts. As Marin Tirabasi's Imagine Leper number 5 said, there's pain and there's outcast. When people treat you like you're not human, something human on the inside breaks. If that's not something in need of healing more than, or at least as much as the physical part, I don't know what is. So when the Samaritan returns to show gratitude to Jesus, to glorify God, he is completing a circle, if you will. Healing leads to deeply felt and acknowledged and expressed gratitude that leads to a more complete healing. I think that's what we do here together each week. We feel gratitude for this community and the sense of belonging it provides. We return and express that gratitude in many ways, making us more whole, more loved, more inclined to want to share this with others. One of the ways we express gratitude is by sharing, like at a family Thanksgiving where they stand in a circle and each person says something they're thankful for. Even the people who don't want to will come up with something. The gratitude swells with the telling and the hearing. The person telling it, you can tell, it just feels more grateful, and the other people as well. Or like when we share joys here, the sharing compounds the joy. Yet another way we express gratitude is by giving back from what we have been given. I think that the spiritual benefit here is twofold. We acknowledge that what we have, whether it's what we've inherited or what we've earned through work or what another person has provided, they are all gifts. And we develop a spiritual practice that is personally transformative. I would also offer that our whole congregation is transformed when we join our resources together. We have given time and money to build a larger space so that we can invite more folks who have been ostracized into community with us. We are indeed building a bigger table. When we feel worried or cannot find our way to gratitude, and God knows we have plenty of reasons to worry right now in our personal lives and in our nation, when we can't get past that, we can seek healing for our fears. I think we are healed with each circle of gratitude that we live. What does that look like for you? For me, it's looked like this: intentionally changing my focus to gratitude whenever I start worrying about anything. But oftentimes it used to be that I didn't have enough money to have ends meet. I think I told you guys that before, but I grew up super poor, so that's something that was there for me all the time. So as soon as I start doing that, if I do, I immediately change my focus to gratitude until I feel it. I open myself to gratitude, and once I or you realize that, as Diana Butler Bass wrote in her book titled Grateful, all of creation is a gift. Every day we are surrounded by gifts that never stop, are never taken back, are not in any way contingent upon the recipient. The gifts just are. In Christian theology, we call that the grace of God given freely. Out of that gratitude, I've learned to give directly to others without expectation of receiving. I've learned to take from others as well when they have offered. Out of that gratitude, I've learned to trust enough to make a pledge to COS each year for the next year's needs. I didn't do it to start with the first couple of years. I wasn't. I was still worried about money, and I was worried about, what if I say I'm going to give the money and I don't have it? But these practices have led to healing for me, even transformation. The more I trust, the less room there is for fear and worry, making way for true gratitude. And this is not to say I don't worry, because I do. It's more that I have this community to remind me that God is with me. We have each other to hold us up when we start to let our fears take us under. I believe that this is another example of sozo, of a healing that joins mind, body, spirit, and relationship. Now, as to me judging the 9 who didn't return to express deep gratitude to God, I think that judgment sprang from within myself, like I said earlier, probably because I have been them more times than I want to admit. I want to be a Christian who has compassion instead of judging. I want us to be a Christian community, and I believe we are, that reaches out to those other 9, even or especially those who need healing of mind, body, spirit, and relationship, but have been excluded and broken to the point they've stopped even seeking community in fear of trusting. I want us to offer a place for the healing of the broken human parts, a place where people can find their way into that circle of gratitude. I've said before that I like to see what we do here in the context of the very early church. Like them, we are always evolving, creating new ways to be together in community, like worshiping in the fellowship hall, of another church while we're waiting for our church to be finished. Like those earliest Jesus followers, we gather together, we pray together, we sing, share scriptures, and we give our money and our time. Most of y'all have also heard me express just how radical it is that we give money and time, that we pool our resources every week or month. If you think about it for a moment, it is totally countercultural to just give freely. And yes, I got that from John Gill. As Doris put it in last week's stewardship moment, to just open up our clenched little hands and let something go for the good of others. That is the cycle or circle of generosity. We want to let gratitude displace our fears. We express that gratitude to God and give freely. Our fears are healed and replaced by trust. I want each of us to experience this as often as possible. Pledging each year is one way to do that. How much or how little you pledge does not matter. You can give weekly. It can be $1 a week. I would just like to see everybody have the spiritual practice of promising something for the future that is what you feel comfortable with giving. What matters is that you do it out of gratitude and let the circle transform you spiritually and in community. May it be so. So that was my stewardship sermon. What do y'all think? Shameless asking for affirmation. And as part of our stewardship campaign, we have people speak each week about why they pledge. And then Pamela, our deacon for stewardship, will tell us where we are in the pledging. So I'll invite Sarah Swinford and Carl Rusnick up to the front to do the why we pledge part. And Leah. Leah can come up too. I think Leah's part of why they pledge.
All right. I have not used a microphone in a while. You're going to get a little bit of stream of consciousness from me. Sarah might be a little bit more organized. But yeah, it was sort of a strange series of events that led us to find COS in the first place. I'm still a little surprised that we're here, but I'm so glad that we are. When we lived in Columbus, Ohio, before we moved to Knoxville, we were married by a Methodist minister. We weren't regular churchgoers at the time, but this was a really progressive, great minister that we knew through Sarah's family. And during our premarital counseling, we talked about different things. She's like, you guys might really like a UCC church. And we're like, okay, yeah. Didn't pursue it at the time, but a few weeks later, actually, Sarah got a job offer after we got married. We moved to Knoxville. We didn't know anybody in Knoxville. We didn't know anything about Knoxville. We had driven through it to go to the Smokies. That was about it. Rented a house. We came down for 48 hours, rented a house. It happened to be on Janmer Lane. And I don't know how much that connects everybody, but we were 7 houses down from COS. So just by fate, landed there. Took a little bit of time, but it wandered over on Easter. And that was our start of our journey at COS. Sarah was a little bit ahead of me in coming regularly, but over time, I did come a little bit more. I'm not a particularly religious person, so I was a little bit nervous to come, and not overly interested at first, but started coming, connecting with people, and had a really great conversation with John Gill before he left about sort of feeling that discomfort in where I'm at in a faith journey, wanting that sense of community, that sense of exploration that is so accepted here. And it's just been such a welcoming place as we've brought Leah into our lives, and the community that we've built here, the way people have supported us when we needed childcare, when we needed, anything along the way. This church has always been there for us and made us feel so loved and supported, and we are just so happy to be here.
Yeah, I can't say it better than Carl, but did try to write down a couple notes. I feel like in a time of such disconnection, unknown, fear, a place like this is all the more important. And yeah, we've benefited in ways too numerous to count. We're privileged to be in community with you all, and my one goal was not to cry. But also just to be part of something larger than ourselves that hopes and works towards something better and believes that something more profound and powerful connects us all. By extension, we feel really honored to be able to financially support the church and its mission in a time where we know more than ever that both the members here and the Knoxville community at large benefits from a place like COS. I also think we're on the cusp of possibility awaiting a new minister and a new home. And this year our pledges are commitments to a future church we cannot see yet and that we get to help usher in. So thank you all for letting us be part of this community, and we couldn't be happier to be with you in this journey.
So, some time ago, I was given a cookbook.
Your headset's there. No, it's on.
Oh, okay, sorry. Take two. So some time ago, I was given a cookbook, for obvious reasons, Princess Pamela's Soul Food Cookbook. And it had recipes and words of wisdom, including, folks say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. But in this life, your biscuits go in the oven once. This October is our time to create the 2026 Church of the Savior that we want. The building, the staff, the new pastor, the outreach to a community of people who want a progressive Christian church. So, you all know, but I'll reiterate how to do that. There are pledge cards in the back, perhaps in your hands, that can go in the offering box. You can mail in, bring in, email in, call in your pledge. And we have Vanna White coming up here with our record of how we're doing. Thank you, Vanna. All right. And another one. Okay. So we have, plus whoever gets inspired today, a little more than 20 pledges. We have, I don't have the exact figures, but about $60,000, maybe more, because I don't have the numbers. But here we go. Pretty soon, we're going to be up here, 100% pledges. And when we are, we will be where we want to be. So let's go. Thank you. Thank you, Vanna.
So on the end of that, it's we do take gifts and offerings and pledges at the baskets at the front and back of the church, or you can give online, or you can have checks sent automatically through your bank. There's all kinds of simple ways to do it. If you have anything to give today, sorry, if you have anything to give today, you can put it in one of those baskets, and if it's for the Second Mile gift, which I'm about to talk about, if it's cash, it will go to that if it's not marked for something else. So this is Second Sunday, Second Mile Moment, and I'm your Second Mile Moment person. because the gift for October is the Servant of All Fund. It gives our church the financial resources to help meet emergency local needs. This year, we provided emergency assistance of many kinds for people in need, including for home repair, utility costs, car repair, gas money, and much more. Cases reach the pastor and staff through social service agencies, reports from the congregation, or people who come to the church seeking help in troubled times. Just this week, I've had requests because Nancy's out of the office, so she usually gets the requests. But just this week, I've had requests for assistance with rent, assistance with utilities, clothing to wear to work for somebody who's wearing one outfit over and over, car insurance premiums. And it is good to be able to say we can help some. So whatever you give to the Servant of All Fund this month is what supports this ministry of ours. And sometimes it is just somebody stopping by for food or a meal or gas down at Weigel's, and I'm not ever sure how much is in there right at that moment in the Servant of All Fund, but I usually just have faith that there's some in there and go ahead and go down to Weigel's and get them some gas or whatever it is that we can do. So thank you for all that you've supported the Servant of All Fund, and ask that you continue to consider it this month of October. Our offertory song today, you guys will remember this. I don't know that we've sang it here, but it's called To Be Faithful. It's very simple, and it has just a few lines, and we'll sing it through twice. Carol will play it through once before we start so that you can be reminded of the tune. Creator God, you call us to plant and build, to heal and seek the well-being of all. As we share our gifts with this church and this community, may we recognize that we are giving from what we have been given out of gratitude and toward the wholeness of this beloved community. Amen. I invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and sing We Give Our Hands to You. We'll sing all the English parts of it. It's pretty short. We'll sing all the English ones and also play it through once before this time, too. go from this place and this time together today to live lots of little circles of gratitude, lots of little cycles of generosity and healing and gratitude that is expressed freely. Go in peace, but wish somebody peace before you go.